What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Win podcast with your host, Aunt Ma, co-host Justin Vaseur. What is so funny?
Nothing.
He's
Got
handsome.
the giggles over there. And then
I just heard like a very podcasty voice come from
That was
you.
good.
I know when I
You're
was
better.
saying it, I heard it in my head and I was like, this is actually pretty good.
I need to get
I
better
liked
at
it.
that.
And so we also have our lender guest here. We love having you back every single time.
I love living
Mr.
here.
William Wynn. And today's 1 hour episode, we're going to be talking about is it the best to buy a home after summer? Okay. That's what we're going to talk about in this 1 full hour episode. And I hope you guys enjoy them. For all of you listeners on Spotify, all the podcast platforms, you guys get the sneak peek of a full 1 hour episode through these podcast platforms. And all those 15-minute videos you see on YouTube, that's broken down from this 1 hour episode. And that comes after you hear this 1 hour episode. So what I'm trying to say is if you guys subscribe to us and follow us on the podcast platforms, you will get a sneak peek of the full episode. Okay. So I hope you guys have been enjoying them. And let's roll into our first one, which is going to be talking about is the 2-1 buy down program coming back. And what I mean by that is it's never gone away. Okay. The 2-1 buy down, 3-1 buy down, those are still here. But sellers are not accepting that negotiation. And I think the last time I was able to use that was back in December or January. I would say ever since March or April, no one's accepted it anymore.
Yeah, just to clarify, for a 2-1 buy down, the seller has to pay the fee.
Okay, let's tell them what a 2-1 buy down program is.
So 2-1 buy down program, basically, you have to qualify for, like, let's say the rate's right now, 7.5? Let's just make it easy, 7%, right? So your rate's 7%, but 2-1 buy down means you can buy down the rate for a temporary buy down for 2 years. So the first year is half the interest rate. So that'll be what, 3.5? Yeah, 3.5 around. No,
Yeah.
that's wrong. That's around from 7%. It'll be go down like 5%.
Yeah. Okay, so basically the 2-1 buy down is if the rate today is 7%, your first year it drops 2%.
Yep.
So if it's 7 today, that means you'll get it at 5% in your first year, right?
First year, and then the second year it goes up, and then the third year it goes back to the 7%.
Right.
Basically.
So to make it easy, 2-1 buy down.
Yeah.
Okay. Your first year goes 2% less. Your second year goes 1% less. Your third year to the rest of the 30 years is back to the remaining what you got it for at the very beginning.
Yeah. So the whole purpose of the program is for you to refinance that loan within the 2 years. Right?
Within the 2 years?
Yeah. That's the
I see
goal.
what you mean.
Yeah, because if you have a rate, let's say today is at 7 and you got it at 5 your first year, and then the next year it's at 6, your goal is to not let it reach 7.
Yeah.
You want to refi by then. So you hope the rates drop by then.
So there's nothing locked in that's like, you have to go through this first.
You can refi whenever you want.
Whenever you want. So it's like you can lower your payment while you wait for the rate to drop, right? Because we expect the rate to drop maybe within 1 or 2 years. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Save money while you can, and then once the rates drop, you can just refinance, and then you save the money permanently. So that's why these lenders like us, we do that program to help clients with the payment and save money, basically.
And how does that work? Do you get like a notification it's going to go up and then your payments go up instead?
It's in the contract, so yeah, you get a notification like, hey, your rate's going to go up. This is the monthly payment, but when you have to qualify for the original rate, which is 7%. So you'll know what your end payment will be, so you're kind of prepared, right? That's why we qualify you based on that.
So there's some other things to this 2-1 buy down program. Basically, like William was saying, the only way to get it is the seller has to agree to it and pay it for you.
That's the catch.
So in today's market, it's difficult because everyone's going over asking price. People are waiving appraisals, waiving repairs, inspections. And so obviously if you ask them for 15 grand, they're not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we're in a slow market where your home has been trying to sell for a couple months and you can't find a buyer, and if someone asks, hey, will you do a 2-1 buy down? Well, instead of dropping the price for your home, 15 grand, you say, yes, I will give you the 15 grand to put into your rates.
So you sell for the price you want, but you kind of it looks good. Basically, you just credit at the end.
So, that's the only way a buyer can get the money is from the seller.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you can't fund it.
Yeah.
No one. I can't fund it. the seller has to be the one that does.
Now, I don't know if this trick is unlawful or unethical or not, but what people were doing before the market got really crazy and we're kind of at the turning point of, still be able to negotiate, sometimes not. People were, putting 15K over asking, and then the sellers were giving that 15K back for the 2-1 buy down. So they were selling at the listed price, and it's kind of like, yes, the seller gives you the money, but the buyer is actually paying for it themselves. So that was happening. Now that's not even happening because things are going like 40 to 100K over asking, and it's like, forget
a
about
whole bunch
it.
of offers. So it's like, why deal with that when someone else is offering?
Yeah. So when the times are hard for both parties, you will be able to get those programs and without it coming from your own pocket or come from the seller. But when the times are a little bit better in the market, then you kind of got to dish it out yourself and get the money back from the seller.
Yeah.
So the other things is also there's a 3-2-1 buy down program, which is an extension of it, and it's 3% lower your first year. So we're talking about 7 today. We're talking about 4% your first year, 5% your second year, 6% your third year, 7% your 4 to year 30. So then you have longer time to refinance if you wanted to.
But it costs more.
It does cost more.
So normally I think the 2-1 is around 2.5%, like 2% cost. And then the 3-1 is much more. I think 3%. So a lot. That's why a lot of times people do the 2-1 instead of the 3-1.
I know we're going very technical for a lot of people here. To break it down a little bit easier, for let's say a 500K home, someone with a decent credit score, and just a normal pre-approval on 500K, a 2-1 buy down will cost you anywhere from $8,000 to maybe $11,000.
Yep.
And a 3-2-1 will cost you about $22,000 to $30,000.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yikes.
So to ask a seller for that much money back is a lot. So most of the time they say no.
Yeah. So it's easier to push. That's why it's easier to offer 2-1.
Right. So when you have a good agent, it'll happen. But the point of this episode is because that has stopped since January, February, March of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so now this time in the summer has been really hot, right? Like I said, we're going with like 100Ks over asking, 40 offers on the table per property. It's ridiculous. So no one is taking them, right? Now, we just learned that the feds are going to do a rate hike 2 more times this year. If we're already at 7 to 7.5%, woohoo, right? That's ridiculous. We're already at 7.5%. And so now we're talking about what? 8%, maybe even 9%. It's possible. We have no idea what's going to happen. But if the rates go above 8%, does that mean, well, are people still going to be buying homes like the way it is now?
Maybe.
So right now the rates are like 7 to 7.5, which is pretty high, right?
Yeah, pretty high. 7.5.
And you deal with a lot of different agents.
Mm-hmm.
Are there a lot of home sales right now?
Buying or selling?
Buying,
pretty decent number. I mean, they're still fighting for offers. It sounds, I think maybe last week or two, it's slowed down a little bit where the offers are getting, like I have a buyer now that's about to go to escrow with a different agent, not my referral, so sorry. But they've been looking for 3 months. And then finally, this recently, this is a normal bid and they got in. So it looks like it's slowing down a little bit.
It's definitely slowing down because in the last 2 weeks when the rates jumped back up.
Yep.
Yeah. So, knowing that it's slowing down in the last 2 weeks, meaning that, I mean, they're still going over asking right now for certain places if it's a hot home, but that's telling us, that's an indication that things will get a lot slower in the fall and the winter, Q4.
Yeah.
So, I think personally we'll be able to negotiate once again. So everyone who missed out last year around November, December, January, which was the best time to buy a home.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was the worst time ever.
Nope.
Because they're like, rates are so high, I'm not buying. I was like, man, this is the best time. Houses were 100K less and you're getting the buy down.
Yep.
Okay. And you're getting closing costs paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So Q4, we might see that again. The only difference is the rates are a little bit higher than it was last year.
But still a better deal. Like you wait, you're gonna miss out again.
Yeah,
because you can pay more for the house at the end. If you wait, I think we had a poll, right? I think if you wait for the house prices, rates to drop, the house price is gonna it costs more at the end of the day, right? And then you can be out because you're being outbidding because when rates drop, everyone else is trying to buy. So and that equals right. Like what's happening in the last couple months is people outbidding over 100,000, and you're overpaying, even if you have a better rate, or whatever. So.
What happened?
This is a lot of information.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Yeah,
how do
this
you
one's
feel
technical.
about this? Because
This one's
you're
technical.
you're every buyer right now, right?
Right.
Justin actually just told me he doesn't know if he's ready to buy a home, and I said I think he is, and he's actually gonna start sending his paperwork to you,
Yeah.
William, to get pre-approved. Okay, so he's ready,
Well,
and so
yeah.
well, he doesn't know he's ready. We're gonna tell him what we
He's
can
ready.
do, and
Yes.
if he is ready.
We'll,
And
we'll do that scenario like we tell everyone. Like we talk to your professional loan officer, and then we'll just paint it out. Just kind of break it out for you so you can see
so
it.
I can tell you right now, every first-time home buyer comes to me this way. They're like, "Hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm ready or if I can qualify." And then when I send them to William, they immediately can qualify and they're ready. Like this is what makes you ready is just this little step of getting your paperwork in.
It's really just
But-
seeing numbers.
With all this, buying strategies that we're talking about, Justin,
Yeah.
how do you feel as a first-time home buyer? Like,
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of options and like a lot of ways that I can go about it, which makes it like super exciting.
yeah,
But it also, it definitely makes me think that I need to talk to someone to really know what the best option is. You know what I mean?
so I think the options change per house.
Right. Okay. That's
So there's a
interesting.
ton of options, like you said, and you're probably stressed the heck out right now, thinking which option am I going to use?
Yeah. Because
It's-
I overanalyze stuff,
Yeah,
which causes me to like pause. You know what I mean?
I think what makes it easy is that every seller and every property is different.
Mhm.
So based off every property, you're going to find out which strategy works best, what you think that seller will take. That's the strategy we would use. So if we have 5 different strategies, one's going to fit that seller.
Yeah.
We just got to see which one it is.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to choose. It's what we think fits best,
Yeah. I mean, even right now, I'm looking at a lot of properties
Yeah.
just for fun, and I'm always painting these like fake ass situations. I'm like, okay, I could probably offer that dude like $100K less,
Yeah.
which could be a thing. But like for example, I saw an apartment. It was kind of messed up. It was in our area, and they were asking like I think it was 280 or something
Yeah.
like that. But it needs a lot of work. So I was like, maybe I can come in there and get a pre-approval and offer them a certain amount, and then I could fix it up, make that profit. But again, over analysis
It's
with certain things.
anything is possible.
Yeah.
I would say when you're always trying to get a super deal on a home, it's pretty rare and a unicorn. The only way you get it is if the seller is in a interesting position. They could be from out of town, which is a lot of people in Vegas actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're from another state. They don't do anything here. They have a property management and they just want to get rid of it. They don't
Yeah.
care if they're losing. They're just done.
The
You
one
know?
that I saw, it was recently foreclosed and the bank owns it, and they bought it for like cheap, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna offer it for that price that they bought it from, or
Yeah.
a little bit higher, because then the resale value is like literally 100 G's over.
Yeah.
So I was like, this could be an opportunity. I don't know how those offers go, but
It happens.
But-
There's also buyers who directly talk to a bank and get the home too.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's hard too, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I would like to talk to you about some options and see what like my scenario could potentially get me.
What makes you interested right now? Is it all these programs that's being offered, or is it that we know that you might get a deal in Q4?
Get a deal.
Get a deal.
Get a
So
deal.
what if I tell you that we might still be in a housing shortage in Q4? Right. So you
Oh.
still have sellers who are like, wow, rates are 8%. How am I ever going to sell this home? I might as well just wait till next year when people want to buy. And so because of that, we might not have many homes on the market. So you might not get what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the market. I mean, I don't know how accurate like Zillow is or
Yeah.
anything like that. But what's the other one? Redfin? Or,
Yeah, Redfin, Realtor.
Yeah,
.com.
and at least in the Vegas side of things, there's a lot of price drops. There's a lot of maybe not a lot of inventory, but I'm always seeing new listings. I'm always seeing all this like potential properties. And like even though there's this kind of anxiety of there not being enough properties or inventory,
Yeah.
I'm still seeing it go up there. So I feel like there will be an opportunity when I'm ready.
We are seeing new listings all the time in Vegas. The only difference is we're not seeing the ones that people really love.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're a picky buyer and you know what you want and you got to hit everything in your criteria, that's going to be difficult.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, I have that
Yeah.
client right now where we know what they want, but it's not there.
Yeah.
So I'm sending them homes that's available and it has like some things.
Yeah.
And every response I get is no, 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 no. It doesn't
Yeah.
check the box. I get it, but this is all that I can show you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now it's like people are going to choose, well, you're going to get the deal and try and make things work, or you're going to wait for that dream home. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
See, I always recommend like when we have clients like that, we're like, I don't know, to sit down, talk, and then just look look with an agent, not on your online, and then all of a sudden they'll find like a house, like, so you never know.
Yeah.
Right? The whole point is that you just start the work and look instead of just speculating.
Junbi Matcha serves high quality matcha straight from the farms in Japan. The matcha leaves are hand picked by farmers to create the purest form of matcha straight to your cup. They currently have 5 locations around the US, 2 of them being in the LA area, which is Rolling Heights and Westwood, 1 in Princeton, New Jersey, 1 in Dallas, Texas, and their newest location on the Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, Hawaii. If you don't have a Junbi near you, you can always purchase their matcha tins or pre-made packs. The most popular are the blueberry matcha and the vanilla matcha. You can just mix it with water and you'll have the same great tasting Junbi teas at the comfort of your own home. Will home prices drop $100,000 after the summer?
What do you think?
It depends on the area. I don't know.
What do you think, Ant?
I think in Las Vegas, yes.
Yeah, Las Vegas, yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For
I'm
sure.
ready.
And the reason why I say this is because right now, home prices are kind of going up, right? Because the rates dropped a little bit during the summer. The summer is the best time to buy a home for all season because that's when the most go up for sale, and you just have more opportunities.
Yes, people are moving because the kids are out of school and they want to move and get into a new house before the new school year starts.
Everyone's in a rush because before the school year and before the holidays come.
Yep.
So they got to sell in the summertime. But last year, was the first time rates went up after, went up significantly.
Yeah.
Ever since we had this historic 2 to 3% interest rate
Yep.
thing going on in the last couple of years, right? Last fall, winter, where were we at? Like 5 to 6%?
Yeah. 4 to 5. Actually.
4 to 5%. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that sounds so low right now. And so
sounds
at
so
that
good right now.
time,
At that time, it was like, ooh.
yeah, at that time last year, everyone was like, I'm not buying a home.
Yeah.
Rates went up. And so because of that, homes are on the market for 60 to 90 days, 120 days. And people were asking for 100K less offers, right? They're asking for 2-1 buy down programs. So which is like, 10K back. And they're asking for closing costs, which was another 15K back.
Yep.
So to get about almost $30,000 plus getting all repairs for the home and getting almost 100K less, like that was happening last year in Q4.
And we have done that. He has done that.
I've done that for 3 people,
Yeah.
3 clients. Okay. And we're about to head into that again this year, Q4. And the only difference is rates are much, much higher. We're talking about the feds are going to raise it to, 2 more hikes. That could easily be 8%. Very easy. Right now we're in the 7s. So I do believe that we can get homes for 100K less in Q4.
Hell yeah.
You like that?
I do.
But how much is monthly payments with an 8% rate on a 500K home? Let's say your home was 600K and a drop down to 500 is what you offered it, and it's an 8% rate. I mean, that's still a lot of money, right?
Yeah, about I'm doing my Asian math in my head right now.
Right, with a good credit score.
Probably like $3,500. That's just for the
$3,500 a month
maybe
at 8%.
That's just
Principal and interest.
that's principal and interest.
Okay, so let's add another 1,000 on
It's
top
like
of that.
5,000 almost.
So 4,500 a month
45, yeah, almost 5
with 8% down.
8% interest rate.
I'm sorry, yes, 8% interest rate. Sorry, I'm confusing you guys. 8% interest rate. Okay, if the home was $600K and you offered $500, it would be about $4,500 a month, all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's with the what 3.5% down.
Yeah.
Around there.
Yeah. Minimum down.
Yeah, minimum down.
Right. So we're just trying to really rough this out, guys.
Yep,
We don't
yep.
have a calculator in our
Yep.
hands. We're just really trying to shoot this.
This
And
scenario.
yeah, I think that's actually not bad.
Still high.
Yeah, I mean,
before it was like what $2,000, $1,800.
Do you think of it as like if it went down 100K like that? Do you think of it as that's 100K like down payment that someone gave you? You know,
Yeah.
because it changed your monthly payments like that. As if
it's big.
Yeah.
if you
changed.
didn't get that 100K lowered or discount, then
You'd be paying more.
Your
a lot
monthlies
more.
would be like probably another
Couple $100,
$1,000.
yeah.
I'd say 1,000 maybe.
yeah. I mean, I look at it as like that, like a price drop, and then you're locking yourself into a house that is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you do get a chance to refinance,
Yep.
your monthly payments are going to be way lower.
Yeah. So it's gonna keep
Yeah.
going lower. I like that. I'm thinking like some people worry about rate, but it's like you want that house price to be down because rate you can continue to drop and you just refinance.
Yeah, because even like during the pandemic, the rate was low, right?
Yeah.
But then these houses were like crazy expensive.
Yeah, they're like
But you can't
200K
change
over.
that.
Mm-mm.
So now you're kind of stuck,
Overpaying.
overpaying.
What is so okay? So we're talking about a 600K home that dropped to 500 at an 8%, right?
Mhm.
And we says 4,500 a month. Now let's look at this scenario. If it was like back then with COVID, right? The 600K home is selling at 800K at a 3% rate. What is that?
I would say
About the same,
a
no?
little bit less. Let me talk. Can I put my calculator?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let me
think
pull
it's a little bit less.
It's a little bit less. Let me do.
Your monthly payments could be less. Okay, so William's gonna figure it out. He's got a calculator in his hand,
I'm gonna do it right
and
now.
he's got a mortgage calculator app, things like that. He does professionally. So while he does that, I do think it's gonna be a little bit less or around the same. So yeah, over like 30 years, you're definitely gonna be wasting more money.
You want to do 2% interest, or like 2 point like
No, let's do
3%, 3%.
Over 30 years, you're definitely gonna be wasting that money. Okay, like that's extra 200,000 over 30 years, but it might not matter if you only have that home for like 5 years or less.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, I just want to pay the least amount now, and then I'm gonna sell that home. I would never reach the 30 years and that extra 200K that people think we're gonna lose. You know, so for me, it's I always want what the cheapest monthly is gonna be,
Really?
Yeah. So basically,
unless it's my final home. You know, if it's my final home, then yeah, obviously I want the cheapest home.
So you wouldn't be buying then?
No, I think if I was to buy my 30-year home that I'm keeping forever, I'm buying like a fixer-upper, try to just get the
Slowly fix it.
cheapest, slowly fix it up, and that's it. You know, it's a totally different game plan.
because it's pretty like historically, people stay in their house more than 5 years before they change again. All right. So back to the mortgage.
Yep,
So let's
go
say,
for it.
$800,000 home, right? At a 3% with 3% down, your monthly mortgage principal and interest is $3,272. All right.
It's cheaper by $300.
No, not yet. So this is the 600,000. Sorry, I miscalculated this one. Sorry, 600,000. Oh, they're 3% down.
All right,
3% down, right? 8% is 42.80, 42.56.
It's $1,000 more.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so let's re-clarify everything that just happened right now. Back in 2021, if the 600K home went over asking and, you know, prices skyrocketed, and now that 600K valued home is at 800, with a 3% down, 3% interest rate, you're paying $4,200 $3,200 a month.
No, 800,000 with 3%, 32.
Oh, I'm sorry.
32
$3,200 a month.
Wow, yep.
Okay. Now, if you bought a home today and that home dropped, I'm sorry, William, I think, can you calculate that from 600 to 500? Because we're talking about a 600K valued home and we're going to offer 100K less, right? Because the seller's having a hard time and we're trying to get a deal. So for 500,000 on the 600K home,
It'll be $3,500 approximately with 8% or 3% down. Hold on.
and an 8% interest rate.
With 8% interest rate, about 3,500.
3,500 a month. What was the other one?
32. So a couple
Oh,
$100.
okay. So, guys, this is what I'm trying to get at. Even though the home prices are 200 to 300K less, because the interest rate is higher, you are paying $300 more a month. All right, guys. So I'm going to re-clarify this after we just got William's numbers. So basically, the homes in 2021, when you went 200K over asking and the rates were at 3%, you would be saving more money than today. Today, even though your home prices dropped, okay, by 200,000 to 300,000, and the rate's at 8%, you will still be paying $300 more a month today. So that means, people are like, I want to buy a home when home prices drop. You can refi later. Okay. I think that's great if you're buying a home for life. Because yes, you can refi later and then that payments will drop back down. But if this is a temporary home, 4 years, 5 years, you're definitely going to be wasting money. You want to go with the home that has the lowest monthly payments right now. Does that make sense?
So basically every scenario is different. We just got to talk to your team, like professionals, and we kind of break it down and see what's worth it for you, basically.
So it really depends on what the buyer is looking for, right? It depends on their situation in their life. If I'm in a situation of like, I'm gonna move in a few years, then I probably don't want to buy a home right now, right? But if I'm gonna buy a 30-year home, like for the rest of my life, I do want to buy now. I do want to buy where the home prices are cheaper, and I want to refi in 2 years. Because in 2 years my prices will be $1,000 less a month.
Okay, so then, you said you would buy a fixer-upper or something like that if the interest rates were lower?
No, if it was my forever home right now, I would buy a fixer-upper right now. So I would, if the home was 600K listed, I would offer 500,000 and then slowly make repairs to the home. And because that 8% interest rate, that's only a 2-year temporary thing for me.
So then when would you buy a long term? No,
that is the long term one.
Okay.
Because
wait, I'm kind of confused.
So right now, the perfect buyer is the one that's looking for a home that's for the rest of their life.
Okay.
Because you're going to pay this high rate for maybe 2 years, and then you can refi. So your next 28 years will be cheaper.
I see.
Right? So that's perfect for that person who's going to stay there for all 30 years. But if you're only going to stay there for 4 years, right? And your first 2 years, you're paying too much. Your third year, you refinance and lost another $3,000. And then now you only have 1 year of cheap payments. So you've actually spent the most money if you're that guy who's moving in 4 years.
I see.
Yeah. So it's scenario, dude. Like in California, it might make difference because the house prices will go up, and then you kind of make it. So it can go both ways, kind of. So it depends. Depends on your scenario, but yeah, well, majority outside of California, what Ant said. But it really just sit down and then crunch numbers and kind of see.
I mean, the clients that I helped in Vegas and the clients that I helped in LA, everybody's homes went up. No matter when they bought it, no matter how much they bought it.
Even during pandemic?
Yep. Everything went up for every client that I have.
In California, at least. We
have a couple. Even Vegas.
Okay.
What?
Yep. So even though home prices went down and they're going up and down, roller coaster.
But it's going like this.
Overall, it's up for all my
Yeah,
clients.
because it's going up and down, but it's going up and down on this like an angle, right? So
Yep.
it's appreciating, but it's going up and down while it's appreciating.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
So all my clients in the last 2 years, which is really when I started full time. Actually, I just started last year full time, but I've learned so much. All of my clients, I would say the minimal that someone has gained on equity is like 40K. And the person who gained the most is at like 100 something thousand. But everyone's gained.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh. What if inventory doesn't open up?
If the inventory doesn't get better, we're all screwed. Meaning that you're going to be buying a home with a high rate and you
high
can't
price.
really negotiate anything
Mm.
because that means there's still a lot of people buying.
Yeah, so the high price,
Right.
high rate. That's
When
well,
there's-
rates can be still very financed, so it's not a lose-lose situation, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
So when there's low inventory, you're fighting with a lot of different buyers,
Yeah.
right? Because especially here in Vegas, you're definitely going to be fighting. It's a different situation because when you're in a place like this, there's a lot more people moving to Vegas right now. I think they've estimated like 30,000 people out of state are moving into Nevada every month.
Every month?
That's what I
What
was
the
told.
hell?
Okay. There was a source that says 30,000.
They brought my
I can't
suitcase.
confirm it, but that's what they said. Even if it's 5,000 people every month
That's a lot.
are coming here, that's still a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So people are in desperate need to leave their states to come here
Yeah.
in Nevada. So you're competing with those people. So that's bad news for you as a local, Justin.
Man,
Especially in California, they make much money out there. And like,
I remember the good old days. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, see, California,
When
man,
there was
everybody's
no
ruining it.
traffic. There was no traffic. It was quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, traffic's still not too crazy except for on the strip, but like
Yeah, I'm
everywhere
I'm
else,
just
it's not too
messing.
crazy. So,
Yeah. Well, I have a question. So do new builds drop in price too?
Yes,
Or they typically hold?
they drop.
They drop.
It depends on which builders. I would say your luxury builders that's $1 million and up, they hold, and they just give more incentives. So they kind of want the value of the community to stay where it's at, and they'll give back 30K, 50K. They'll give back another 50% off in the design studio. So your 100K in upgrades, you're getting for 50K. So they do a lot of that.
I see.
But they don't want the home prices to go down. Now, all the homes, the new builds are like in your $500,000 range. Those will drop. They will drop 100K because they don't
Really?
care. They just need to sell. Okay, they're different.
That's kind of attractive.
And also because they don't have the room that luxury builders have. So most affordable builders like KB Homes, Woodside, Richmond American, these guys, most of their materials, their builds, they're at affordable prices, almost at cost. So that's why they're affordable homes.
Mm.
That's why some, like, if you look at kitchen countertops, they're like 2 inches thick compared to a luxury builder that's like 4 inches thick, right? And so what I'm trying to say is that because everything is, they're giving it to you cheaper, they don't have space to negotiate in that realm. They can only lower the home price and lose. But a luxury builder who, upsells everything, they can really just give you 50K, stuff like that. It's like when you go to a car dealership and you go to Mercedes, you can get maybe 5,000 to 8,000 off on the car if you really spend 6 hours there and haggle.
Yeah.
But if you go to Toyota, it'll take you you'll get $1,500 off after 6 hours of haggling
Yeah.
because their cars are already cheap.
basically, yeah.
So it's the same concept.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
In all of this talk that we had today, I think personally, home prices will drop 100K after summer. More of like we're talking about December time. December, okay? What do you think, Justin?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
William?
I hope so.
You
You
hope,
hope
so.
so.
Hope
But
so.
do you think so?
I think winter always slows down, so I think it drop.
But by 100,000?
Maybe a little bit less than that, but yeah, it'll drop.
This is the most popular matcha tin. It gives you the energy you need to prepare for your day without the crash, mainly because of its high quality. Make your own matcha at home with their daily ceremonial grade matcha. All you have to do is scoop, whisk, and enjoy. So, this matcha tin is 100% pure shade grown, finely milled matcha. It's sourced from a 100-year-old farm in Japan. It pairs deliciously with other ingredients, and it fuels you to prepare daringly for your adventures ahead. I think right now is a horrible time for investors to buy a home. New investors, that is. And the reason why I say that is because I am a new investor, and I can't buy a home right now because rates are too high.
We have tried.
Can you go in depth?
Yeah.
with that?
So let's go into a new scenario here. Right now, the rates are at 7%.
For primary, investor rate is like 9-10%.
Is it
Really?
Oh my gosh! So we were looking like beginning of the year, and now we're like 7 months difference. 9 and 10%. Now,
Technically, but what right now is like 8, but then you have to pay like 2 points.
okay. So if you're a new investor trying to buy a rental property, you're not gonna cash flow right now.
Nope.
You're losing money.
Yes.
So you cannot buy a home if you're a new investor.
Yeah, depending where you live, but yeah, it's
Okay.
either LA, maybe break even, maybe. Here, you'll be losing money for sure.
The person that's going to make money is a seasoned investor. Someone who's a cash buyer. They've done this. They have all the funds. If you're a cash buyer, this is the perfect time for you because, yes, you can offer homes for less money, and
Cash.
you get deals. You don't need to deal with the high interest rates. But for me, I need to deal with the rates. And so the only way I've tried to figure this out and see, well, what else can I do? The only way I can cash flow as a new investor is, maybe put down a bigger down payment.
Yeah.
So if I did a normal 20 to 25%, I'll probably be losing about $400 a month from a renter. That's just stupid. Why would I do that? Right?
I was gonna say, what if your whole goal is to build the equity?
That
Like
is that is definitely the goal that people have after cash flowing. The first thing is always cash flowing.
Unless you're willing to take the hit
and
and
then
afford it.
yeah, but
It's not for new investors.
I think every investor is different.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I'm a new investor and I only have enough money for one rental, it'd be stupid for me to get something that doesn't cash flow, even if I'm waiting for equity to jump up and then sell. Like, if I only have enough money for one house, I don't want to dish out $400 a month for my savings, right? But if I am also a new investor, but I have money to burn because I have so much businesses. Like, let's say I own 10 restaurants and I'm making too much money.
Damn.
And I need to write off
Baller.
taxes, or I need to lose some money to make my taxes better.
Donate to me. It's cool.
Then yes, I don't mind spending an extra $400 a month and claiming those losses.
Yeah. Good for your taxes.
Yeah, it's great for taxes. So it just, every investor is different.
Scenario is different.
Yeah.
So the only way that me as a new investor can actually cash flow on a rental property right now is if I put maybe 50% down.
Yeah.
I think
lowers a lower amount.
in the beginning of the year, if I did
50%. God damn.
yeah. So we're talking about let's say you buy a $400K home here in Vegas, you gotta put $200K down, then you'll cash flow.
Yeah.
Because now your mortgage will be like $1,800 a month.
Yeah. Rates lower. Rates a little bit lower too, because the more down you put, the less risky for the lender. So
Yeah.
rates a little bit lower.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
So when you're
It's still
talking about a $400K home, you're talking about like a 3-bed, 2-bath here in Vegas, and those are going for about renting $1,800, anywhere from like $1,700 to $2,200 a month, depending on the area.
I should come out here and rent.
For what?
For a 3-bed, 2-bath in Summerlin,
Oh, yeah.
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 about
Wow.
$1,700 to $2,200 a
This is
month.
a nice neighborhood too.
Now, if you
Yeah.
put 50% down and it costs you $1,800 a month, at cost, like you're just pretty much breaking even.
Because you have to pay property taxes. Property taxes.
Yeah. So you're not really cash flowing unless everyone else raises the rent too, and now you can charge $2,000 a month. So that's the only thing I can do. 50% down. I would say beginning of the year, I was able to do 40% down and cash flow. But now with rates jumping higher, yeah, I go like 50%, man.
What if you do a short-term rental furnished, like
Yes, you can do that.
Like Airbnb, you mean?
maybe, yeah, or like a traveling nurse type of thing, or you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by traveling nurse?
Like, isn't there like a niche in that where they
There
Like
is.
30-day rentals and stuff, you mean?
yeah 30-day rentals where they're charging like 3,500 for?
Yes,
That's possible.
there is.
Would you say that's more of like a advanced investor position?
That's actually the type of investments I'm looking for right now is midterms because here in
Oh,
Vegas,
that's what it's called. Midterm.
midterm rentals.
Ah.
Those are 30-day rentals, or let me clarify, 31 days or more. Okay, and the reason why I'm looking at that is because in Clark County of Las Vegas, you cannot do short-term rentals. So I was gonna do
Unless you play
midterms.
the lottery system, right?
Right. And then I don't even care for it because right now I need midterms for my clients. I have clients from all over the United States who are like, hey, do you have a rental right now? I'm trying to move here. And I just bought, a new build. We need a home for 2 months. So I need to buy a home for my clients right now. I have a demand for it. So that's my goal, right? But yeah, traveling nurse is a good niche. That's perfect here in Vegas. What was the other question?
No, I was just saying, like, would that be an opportunity still in this type of
It
market?
is an opportunity, which is great, but you still have to put a big down. Like I think if you did 20% down, would you cash flow? If you did 20% down on a 400K home, what is that monthly payment?
I would say
3,000.
close to that because
Okay.
the rate's high.
Right.
Yeah.
So 3,000, and you're talking about doing Airbnb business to make $500. So to me that's not worth the risk because you got to put all your eggs in the basket, and you got to hope that it rents for that whole month to make
Yeah.
$500. If it doesn't, you're out $3,000.
I
So
see. Yeah.
that it wouldn't be good.
And you want to put at least 25% down. Are you buying an investment property? Because rates are usually better when you put at least 20%, 25% down or more.
Why
So-
is that?
This is how the risk, and that's how the pricing works for lenders. Like
So-
you put 20% down for traditional mortgage primary, that's fine. But for investment properties, 25% or more.
What's the difference in terms of like the cost?
Sometimes by a point. It's like how right now it's 2 points. Maybe it might be a point or less than a point.
What are points? Because I'm an agent, and
So a point is basically 1% of the loan amount
Got
that
it.
you have to pay to get that rate. So basically, you want that rate, you have to pay 2 points, 2% of that loan amount.
Why don't lenders ever say percent? Because buyers know what that means. Agents know what that means.
You know what? Good question. I don't know.
You guys just go by the books.
Yeah, we just go by points.
Yeah, that is
basis
weird. Points. What?
Yeah. I'm like,
That's why
It's
it's
like-
1% basically.
It's like 8%, but 2 points. Like what?
yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Just
I
say
don't
10%.
I don't know. I didn't make up. I had to learn those terms too because I
Yeah.
come from the investment industry where we talked about a percentage. So
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
a big change for me.
So, yeah, the best time right now for investors are just the ones that have,
Cash.
a lot of money, $1 million, and you can buy a home.
So then it would be more attractive to start investing when the interest rates are lower.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is there anything else that we can do to help a new investor? How else do I buy my first rental?
Can you still do programs and stuff, or is that not?
No,
Oh,
usually
okay.
when you want an investment property, there's a lot of
of
programs
rules.
are geared towards first-time home ownership.
Mhm.
So primary resident. I mean, the other one you can do is pull out a HELOC,
And how much is a
but HELOC
HELOC
rate's
rate?
high too.
What
like
is that?
10%, maybe 10%, 11% for
Jeez.
HELOC.
11%?
Yeah, it's high, dude. Because you know how we talked about rates
Damn.
going up. So when the Fed's saying the raising rates, it doesn't directly affect mortgage rates, but it does directly affect HELOC rates because they're variable. So when they say rates go up, they affect variable rates like credit cards, car loans, HELOCs and stuff.
What if you buy a house and then you, as your primary residence, but then you live on in an RV on the parking lot?
Sure, just don't tell us that.
You didn't tell me that.
Okay.
Tell me that you live there.
Is that
That is not
what you do
no
with your
No,
home
no,
is
no.
fine. You can do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
But
Okay.
the intention is you were gonna live there as a primary. That was your
Yeah.
full intent.
it's still not your primary?
Say that one more time.
If
Oh.
if you're on your parking lot?
Well, for purchasing, when I'm doing a loan,
Yeah.
you cannot do that. It has to be your primary.
No, so what he's saying is that
So-
I mean let's say I'll make it more realistic than what he's saying. Let's say I converted my garage, okay, and I live in my garage for myself, and I rent out the front of the house.
It should work. That is your primary.
That's still primary, right? Is that me?
'Cause you live
am
in
I
it.
illegally doing something when signing the
No.
paperwork?
No, it's like buying a duplex. As long as you're living in one.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
a great example because when you buy a duplex, you're not living in both homes.
Yeah, you're renting one out.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
that's because as long as you're living there, you can do whatever you
So
want.
you can have the intention of house hacking to get a primary rate.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, yeah, you could be buying a condo and you could be, you're going to get roommates and you can still qualify for that primary rate.
Because
So,
you're living there.
same thing.
You have to be living there. That's the question is, are you going to be living like occupying that property?
How many days do I have to live there is considered to be?
More than six half the year, I think. More than 6 months out of the year.
Oh, I think I heard something like that.
So for 6 months, I could live in my garage. For the whole year, I could rent out the front of the house.
I would double check that. I'm
And
going to double check that.
The other 6 months, I could then rent out the garage.
Maybe. I don't. Legally, you would have to live there primary. I'm just like.
I see. Okay, so you can't. But what's funny is that, like, we never want to hear that as a lender and an agent because we're not trying to get sued. We're not trying to lose our licenses.
We're not trying to lead you in a bad way.
We don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
What you want to do as a buyer, that's up to you. But if you tell me you're buying as a primary, then I can help you.
Yeah.
If you tell me that you're buying it for a different purpose, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Well, we can help you. We just got to buy it using that program.
Right.
We can't say it as a primary.
Yeah. And then what also is something that's interesting is that life changes every day.
Yeah.
So there could be a day where Justin's like, I'm buying it as a primary, and we're like 2 weeks into escrow, appraisal's done, your loan is done, you're ready to sign docs, and something happened in your life where you're like, oh shit, I can't live at this home I'm buying right now. Something just happened to my family. I gotta go move in with my mom real quick because I gotta take care of my mom and my dad. So now what am I gonna do? And you're signing it, and now right when you bought the home, you gotta rent it out. Well, the intention was still,
As long as you have a good explanation and proof, you're fine.
there you go. So
Can't be making up stories.
who's to
They're
say?
not gonna take the house from you? Or anything?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, who's to say that in 30 days something happened and you needed to rent it out? You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's kind of basically once the loan's done, house everything's signed. It's kind of hard. Like no one's gonna go in your house. Going, is he living there for real? Like, no one's gonna do that.
I see.
They would probably do that when in the process, like refinancing.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Refinancing, you should put as primary, and then they're gonna go check. Like, they don't look like he lives here. Like if you're refinancing, your mailing address is somewhere else. Your primary address is somewhere else. That's questionable. Right? But once purchasing, once we finish with the loan, you're the one saying that you're going to be living there. I'm not going to go there and knock on your door like, "Are you live there yet?" Like 2 weeks later, So
Man. All right. So throughout this whole episode, have we thought about how to help a new investor yet?
how help a new investor?
Yeah. We
That's
haven't,
tough,
right?
dude. No, it's tough. I mean, the HELOC or like bigger down with it, it's tough.
All right. So if you are a new investor, I would switch up your plans right now and look into buying a business rather than a home.
Or buying as a primary.
Buying as yeah, but still, even if you buy as primary, and in 6 months or a year you want to start renting it out, it's still too high.
Yeah. Yes. Well, rates a little
Because
bit lower.
Refinance.
The-
Oh no. 6
Yeah,
months.
you can.
You can. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if I was to buy a home right now and it cost me $3,500 a month on a primary, and in 6 months to a year I decide to rent it out, That's still $3,500 a month. Now you're competing against investors or landlords who have owned homes in your area for 10 years, and their mortgage is $1,200 a month, $1,500 a month, and they are able to rent it out on Zillow.com for $2,200 a month. That's who you're competing against. Okay, you're not competing against the same guy who just bought a house yesterday too, who's gonna rent it out.
Yeah.
No, you're going against like your mom and dad.
Veterans.
So that's why you just can't buy a rental right now.
How about this? This came to my mind. What if you rented each room? Would you possibly make it up? Because I know I have
Like
a friend
$1,000, $1,000.
Yeah, like I have a friend out here that lives in a room of a house, but they rent the landlord rents each room out, right?
Yeah.
$1,000 a room.
Or like 700.
I think it's still rough.
That's how bad. That just depends how bad you want money. In that case, I'm like, I still have a life to live, and I still want to be comfortable. Like that's kind of drawing the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want all these strangers living in my house.
Does renting out homes ruin the market?
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's a different market.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
What do you mean by
make the
ruin the market? Like,
so that has no effect on like the I guess how much things are going for. Like if you have a bunch of people renting out their spots for Airbnb and like everything's being jacked up, like they're renting it for $3,500, and now like landlords want to increase their rates and try to get that too or whatever.
No, the only thing it affects is when
you sell the house.
investors overpay.
yeah.
So it's like a lot of times buyers lose their offers because an investor bought it because they're willing to pay a little more.
It's only when you sell. That's why it affects the market thing. Whatever they sell it at, not when what they're renting at.
I see. Okay. Because I always hear a lot of talk about like, oh, these Airbnb folks are ruining the market, this and that. I'm always wondering what they're.
I think it relates to like what you said. The investors are paying more.
I see.
To beat out the real buyer, like the buyer that wants to be a primary to get the house.
I see.
I think that's what they mean.
Yeah. Great question though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious. Another question.
Yep.
Is I've also been seeing like talk around like Reddit and all these things where people are saying we might see a 4% interest rate in 2025. What do you think? Do you think we could go back down to that?
No.
In 2025.
About 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lender says no.
Maybe.
So
Okay.
I would not wait for it.
So last night I was doing some research on the market for 2024 for next year, and they said December 2024 the rates will be at 4%, and then by January of 2025 it will be 3.9.
No.
That's what I read, and that was not Reddit. It was some real estate articles.
So like basically, let me go back. I remember back when we started the podcast, I came here for a mortgage convention here. Now with the top economists, like he advised Barack Obama, like the top economists. They were saying May 10th is the day that rate's gonna drop, right? And we're like, yeah, rates dropped a little bit, but now we're at 7-8%.
Well, here's what's happening. So by Q4 of this year, rates will be 8%. No one's going to buy a home, supposedly, right? Even though there's a shortage on homes. If no one buys a home, me as an agent, I don't have a job. You as a lender, you don't have a job. Okay, we are losing jobs. Now no one's buying homes. No one's buying cars.
Recession.
There's no car salesman. Now we're in recession.
Yes.
Now if we're in a recession in December, January, that's why from 8% in December,
drop.
You're talking about from January all the way to January 2024 to December 24, you're talking about 8% goes down to 6, 5, 4, 3.
Oh, possible.
It really depends. So I think the goal is we need people to sell homes.
Yes.
If we don't sell homes, we're all screwed. We need this recession to help everybody.
I think in California,
And-
builders stopped building already.
And so in that case, right now would be a good time to buy, no?
It's always a good time to buy.
Yeah, well, that's what we've been.
Or like in the next few months.
in the last few months has been a perfect time because you're getting there's a lot of homes on the market because it's summer, right?
And you're getting a lower price.
And we're talking about in 2 years rates will drop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
saying. You can
this
always refinance. So it's always good. It's no bad or good time to buy. It's just if your scenario fits it, get into it.
All I'm saying is, we're talking about these rates dropping, which you're getting very happy about, Justin. But then when those rates are dropped, the prices go back up for the homes.
Because everyone's jumping
And
in.
we're fighting again. We're overbidding because now we're back to 100 offers per property. And it's yikes. So
be prepared with big. You have to save a lot of cash.
all I know is that whatever me and William have been saying in every single episode for this year has been coming true.
It has. We've been
Fortune
telling
tellers.
y'all I've been buying a house back then.
This is the matcha whisk. It's electric. It's very convenient to use. The electric matcha whisk is a fun, easy way to make matcha in a flash when you don't have the time or the space to break out your entire set. So you can still enjoy smooth, frothy matcha in just seconds, no matter where you are. So this is the bamboo matcha whisk. It's the most traditional way to make your matcha every morning. It'll help elevate it. It's a ritual that they used to do. And this is a 100-prong traditional bamboo matcha whisk. And it's foldable, so you can take it on the go. Very easy to use. I actually love using this. It's just makes the whole experience that much better. And then this ladle is the way I use to actually get the serving size for the matcha. I get the right amount by using this ladle, put it into the bowl, and I start whisking away. And just like that, by adding some water, it's ready to drink. So visit one of the locations near you so you can get some matcha, try it out. And if you guys aren't near any of the locations, go to junebishop.com. You can use our promo code WINNING to get 10% off anything on the website. I think this is a great way for you guys to really try this instead of using anything else for caffeine, such as sodas, coffees, pre-workouts. This is very clean. I do this myself and I love it. In June, of this year, Dallas has banned Airbnbs.
Wow. I'm licensed out
Entirely.
there. I didn't know that.
So the only time you can use Airbnb as an investor, use Airbnb for your property is for a commercial property, or a multi-unit.
Yeah.
Okay, multi-family.
Maybe you
Maybe-
have to live in one.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was talking about in the last episode.
What were you talking
It was
about?
like single family homes being used for Airbnb is creating a shortage. No?
Oh, because more homes are being bought out.
Yeah. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Could be.
And it's just making the prices kind of skyrocket a little bit because there's low inventory.
Could be. Yeah.
Maybe because then people are not forced to leave and sell because I just rent it out, make my mortgage basically.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy because imagine if all these neighbors right here were using their properties as Airbnb, then you wouldn't have a home to buy.
For right now, but let's say that this starts affecting other places, other cities around the nation, and they can no longer Airbnb. It's effective immediately. Dallas cannot Airbnb immediately.
How about the ones that
But
are
it's
already-
single family homes.
right, single family homes?
Yeah, which I think is a good thing.
Kind of, yeah. But what hurts is that I know people who bought a home in Dallas, and then they were fixing it up, putting decor, buying all this stuff on Amazon, and they're ready to put it on Airbnb, and then they got the news. They just bought that home for Airbnb.
how about you if you already have one and it's an Airbnb? Like this
Nope.
all stops, everything
Effective
stops.
immediately.
Wow.
It's not enforced until the end of the year, December 14th.
Okay.
But it is
still kind of
effective.
get away with. Kind of get away with.
Yeah, you can get away with it now,
But in like January, it's like,
by January, you'll start probably getting some notices and penalized.
oh wow.
Yeah.
'Cause I know here there's a lot because I sometimes instead of staying in the hotel, I look up Airbnbs. Like you have the whole house.
So here
Yeah.
in Las Vegas, it's almost like Dallas, right? Dallas, you can't have anything. In Vegas, only Clark County they don't have Airbnbs. If they do, it's by lottery system, or they've been like grandfathered in.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because there's still some. I look it up. I still see some.
I think
Yeah.
in Dallas, if you're grandfathered in, you can't. There's no grandfathered
It's
in.
just completely
It's done.
gone. Wow. That
So,
sucks.
do you think that's going to affect other cities? You think they're going to start taking that on?
I think so. Yeah. I think
Is this the
Yeah.
beginning of the end of Airbnb?
I think so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What if there was another company to find another loophole? What are the loopholes? Like,
There's no loophole.
It's just
Because they're banning
commercial.
short-term rentals. So
I think they're just gonna make it commercial or multifamily.
does that mean we
it's like
should?
a hotel then, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So should we be buying in motels now?
Oh, actually, yeah. Because I think if you could buy a older motel and like fix it up,
So the question is, who is
Especially
pushing-
in Vegas.
Who pushed that? Is it like the big hotel companies pushing that in Dallas? You know what I mean? Like who's behind?
that's what
that?
I was curious
So
about.
I think like big hotels are pushing it so that they can get business back. You know what I mean?
I don't
Or is
get it.
Or is
because-
it just a city like they don't want
They don't want.
people coming in and out of the city like that?
why? Why don't they want people?
Yes,
Like, are
I think
people destroying the city, the neighborhoods?
No, I don't
I don't think so, right?
I mean, I hear both. I hear like how some places are causing trouble. With
But I feel like that's rare, isn't it?
I think since
I don't know.
people renting for parties,
yeah,
but like that's kind of rare. I don't hear too much about that.
Mhm.
I think it's the big hotels that are like pushing it.
Because
Like they're funding that. To get
well,
pushed.
here's two things. People who are having parties right now, these Airbnb hosts, they have noise level indicators.
Yeah, some will have cameras,
Right?
too.
They have cameras, noise levels. So if there's too much shouting, they can tell them, hey, you guys, you got to cut it out. There's curfews, things like that. And if you don't follow, I don't know what happens. Maybe they're banned from Airbnb, something like that. Fine. I don't know. But they have those, right? To keep people from having parties. Number two, when we're talking about these hotels, I don't get it because we live in Vegas and we have the biggest hotels in the world, and they still allow some Airbnbs. They allow midterms. They allow them all in Henderson. They do allow Vegas as long as you win the lottery and your house gets chosen for it. So I don't
I think
get
it's a
that.
little different because in Vegas you kind of want to stay at the hotel of convenience and like the gambling. That's why I haven't stayed. I always stay at the hotel.
Right.
It's just more convenient.
But the hotels are controlling Vegas Airbnbs just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Because
Why haven't they shut it down?
It's probably because they're not hurting them.
Yeah.
They're not hurting. They're freaking Vegas hotels.
I
They're
think
not
they
hurting.
probably understand that when they have EDC,
Yeah.
F1
When they get
racing,
full, it's just better for the city.
they
basically.
need, exactly.
They need the extra capacity.
But Dallas, they don't have anything
Crazy.
for to get filled up.
Yeah, I never thought about going to Dallas. So yeah.
Dallas is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been there once.
Really?
Twice.
Never been
Yeah,
to
we
Texas.
just recently went there like maybe a month ago or like 2 weeks ago.
Were you like
Yeah.
in Dallas, like downtown Dallas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
You know what? The thing I hate the most about Dallas? My friend was like, hey, you want to go get some tacos? I'm like, yeah, sure. We had to drive an hour away to get some tacos.
What? No, now
Dang.
I don't know how long ago that was, but now there's a pretty sweet spot in downtown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I would say it's kind of like Tacos El Gordo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe not to like that caliber,
Yeah.
but like it still has that like vibe.
Okay,
I
let me
guess.
tell you this. I love Tacos El Gordo because I've been to the originals in San Diego. The Vegas ones don't compare. I think
Yeah.
they suck compared to the ones in San
Yeah.
Diego. The ones in San Diego, they're just more business. They just charge stuff more, so their grills have more smoky flavor, and you don't taste that here in Vegas.
Mhm.
But I still love El Gordo when I come to the ones in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, I'm never going again. Ever. You know
Why?
why? Because they raised the taco prices. You know how much a taco is
How
now?
much?
They're like $4.19, $4.13
For one
for
taco?
one taco.
How big is it? I would think like the small tacos, right?
Yeah,
not
they're
big.
normal sized tacos. So
okay.
for two tacos, it's $8.30.
Mm,
That's a lot, man.
that's a
Yeah,
lot.
that
I
is a
complain
lot.
about tacos in LA like $2. Like,
You know, I wanna put a picket outside of El Gordo and be like, lower taco prices. Lower taco prices.
I think
We
people
should do
still
that
pay it.
for interest rates.
Where? stand in front of Chase.
Interest
Lower
rates.
interest rates. We should.
I mean, low key, I think a lot of these dumbass policies or whatever are kind of crazy.
oh, you just
I don't
brought up
know.
something really good, Justin. During COVID, we had so many protesting, right? COVID protesting, BLM, all that stuff, right? Everything was crazy. Now, everybody in America is hurting because of interest rates,
Yeah.
right? And nobody's protesting.
Yeah, exactly.
taking
It's
it.
like it's very
taking it
selective
too.
on what we protest, and I'm like, we've never protested taxes. We never protested. I'm talking about recent times.
Inflation.
Yeah,
like, come on,
inflation
man.
or like the way the government handles our money, And I'm just like, how come we don't protest those things? Like, we have the power to hopefully change something.
Well, people
Like,
are
especially-
protesting more pay,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
what is
'cause
it? The
freaking-
actors and writers.
Yeah, more pay, but also because everything is going up. You know what I mean?
So we saw this. It was like maybe a year or two ago when people were striking about getting more pay. And then they're talking about raising minimum wage. And then everyone's like, yes, we're getting paid more. And people who have been through this world know that when you get paid more, everything else goes up, like movie tickets, gas prices. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We saw this coming.
Yeah.
And now we're all complaining like, oh my gosh, we can't afford anything. Like, I don't know. This is just weird.
I think what I think is we need to have a good ratio of the income levels to the expenses.
It's almost
As
like
long-
we're missing something. When we go on strike for higher pay, we need to do it 2 times. We need to do it in the beginning, and then when inflation goes up, we can do it again. That's it. But it just stops after inflation, and like we just kind of burned ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know anything about the economy
This-
really,
I saw
or how it
something-
works, but
yeah, I saw something recently, like back in like our parents' age and stuff, or like back in like what the 80s and 70s. The average American household was like, I think we talked about this. Did we talk about this last time? It was like they were making 80,000 a month, a year. That's just average, like, and then
equivalent.
equivalent to
Yeah.
no, that's the equivalent to what it is now,
Yeah.
right? And now it's like we still like what a median average is like 60
Yeah.
something.
50
Yeah.
to,
It never-
50 to 70.
It never increased, but everything else costs. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's what I mean by like the gap.
Yeah, it's just
The cost to what we make, that gap is just
increasing. Oh
almost
yeah,
going like this.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, what?
Yeah, I think we're just all kind of fucked here. So not
Or
only
increasing, I mean. Yeah.
not only are we not able to battle inflation and get better income, now we have people like Airbnb, getting banned everywhere. Where do you guys see the first city after Dallas getting banned?
Ooh, I don't know.
Mm. Like maybe rich cities, like
Rich
Newport-
cities?
like
Yeah,
Newport.
Dallas is a pretty rich city.
Is it?
Yeah, they have like one of the richest neighborhoods, like right next to the downtown, I think.
I do know Nick Van Exel lives around there.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Nick Van Exel? Oh, you're from Vegas. You know Nick Van Exel?
basketball.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Back then with the lefty and does
I don't watch basketball.
yeah, because Vegas isn't a basketball town.
Boo. For now,
It's boring, dude.
it is.
Oh
don't
man.
watch
See,
basketball either.
so once we get a basketball team here,
Yo.
we're gonna need some Airbnbs, and I don't think Vegas is gonna cancel all of them.
Nope.
They might just switch them to commercial.
I mean, where are all the sport trainers gonna live? Where the coaches and coaches and coaches and
Yeah,
coaches
like
gonna
rookies.
Well, yeah,
Rookies.
that's kind of funny too, because I shot with this UFC fighter, and their whole team was at a Airbnb.
live? Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you can't book a whole floor for the whole Lakers. You know what I mean? Like you need everyone kind of in the same house sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Like the massage guy, the physical therapy guy, the guy who needs to give me an IV because I'm tired.
Yeah. I've also seen some places create their own facilities, like training facilities where the
Yeah.
athletes stay at. But
But that's just to work out.
Yeah,
not
that's
to
like this
live.
preseason or something. Yeah.
really?
Yeah, right. Like
Huh? No, they have like you know. So you're a big hockey fan. Don't the Golden Knights have their own facility?
yeah,
Don't they?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
for
live
year
there.
round. Yeah, they don't live there.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know like football, they have like rookies. I think they need a place to stay, right? In hockey, I think some of them were like staying at other hockey players' houses, like veterans. Like they take them under their wing, and then stay at their house, kind of teaching them ropes and stuff. But yeah, but an Airbnb for sports, good idea.
So do you think Airbnb is going to be around for a minute then? Or do you think in the next 5 years it's gone?
Depending what other cities do.
Like if everybody cracks down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like bad neighborhoods can, stop Airbnbs. Like maybe no Airbnbs in Oakland.
Well, even good neighborhoods, what do you mean? They don't want, like, you're not going to see an Airbnb in like a rich neighborhood, right?
Like Hollywood Hills,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
You should see some.
Really?
And then they allow parties too. I've seen some.
Really?
It's like you can do your event here, like a huge ass mansion, but it's like a lot of money to book.
I just thought those communities usually are very picky.
That's true. HOAs won't allow it
Yeah.
But I don't think there's HOAs in those.
in Beverly Hills and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
old-
See,
old
like
school-
they like guarded, gated.
I don't
areas?
know. You know what? I don't live there, and I don't know.
I used to drive around there a lot because I used to work down there, and there weren't gates in a lot of them.
Yeah, it's like old school houses. You just own a lot of land. Just
Mhm.
rich,
I would
See,
say
like-
looking down on the peasants.
Yeah.
I would say California for sure will be the last ones to ban
Yes.
Oh,
Airbnb
yeah,
for
California
sure.
for
It's just
sure
too
will
much
be
money
last.
for them.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money.
Because I can see it for things like Joshua Tree,
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's Joshua Tree's blowing up. I'm going next week.
Yeah.
They have all these crazy
Why
Airbnbs.
are you going to Joshua Tree? Like,
Just for one night, so the kids can see the Milky Way.
I
Oh,
see.
'cause
For
it is-
stargazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stargazing because it's gonna be like the darkest.
Yeah.
Like they have like a calendar, and then we're going so like it's gonna be like moons away, and you just
Oh, when you going?
and it's cheap too. It's like $100, $100 on Sunday to Monday.
No, so I'm always like, what is there to do there? You know?
Nothing, just to stargaze.
Yeah, I've always wondered that too. Like
It's a desert.
Yeah.
Joshua Tree. Come
Yeah,
on.
we're gonna go there to stay at night to see the stars, basically,
Nice.
and then just drive through the desert. Joshua Tree.
UFO hunting.
I would. Y'all didn't go with me. That's fine.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of these Airbnb insights. Let us know what you guys think about it. You think it's going to be banned in your city? Are you guys trying to open up Airbnbs? Or how has it even been for you guys if you have been in the business? So leave your comments below. We love the engagement, guys. So we'll see you next time. Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Google, anywhere you listen to podcast platforms. So it's next time. Peace out. All right, guys. So head over to thejumbishop.com and you can get 10% off anything on the website by using our promo code WINNING.